Good, happy Monday, peoples. Welcome back to Live with Johnny. It is 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, already dark out. And I say that so that when you are watching this Wednesday night at home in your underwear and you're commenting, wondering why I'm not saying hello, that is why. This is coming to you live Monday, 7:30. Before we get started and before we call Pastor Coach Baxter and start talking about our Thanksgiving fundraiser, we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. You know, I've been listening to myself every Monday night. The fiancée comes home and she listens and she watches, and I hear myself. So tonight, I'm going to enunciate. I don't like my own voice. I'm going to enunciate better. I'm going to pronounce words better. I'm not going to try to be so loud. Last week, I don't know what got into me, but there were some points. He's shaking his head.
He got aggressive.
I was like, even I was watching her watch it. She was like, nobody entertains me more than me, but I sound like a ripoff of Joe Pesci. I sound like a ripoff of Joe Pesci when I talk. I sound like Joe Pesci if you ordered him from Wish.com, right? I am the degenerate, cheap version of Joe Pesci. So I'm going to try tonight to not sound so, I don't know. I don't enunciate words right. I don't sound right. We already got to fuck out of here with less swearing. I'm with you, pal. What's up, Fane? I'm with that guy. But we're going to talk to Coach Pastor Baxter, so we got to make sure that we behave. Last week's show was phenomenal. It was our first week with Phone Roulette. If you missed it, you have to go back and watch it. We called my mother. It was unbelievable.
You gotta be kidding me.
She may or may not have called me a name or two.
You are such an asshole.
You missed a heck of a show. So it was phenomenal. I was this close to getting her to admit that my older brother's adopted. We'll keep hammering away at it. We here at Live with Johnny believe we're going to start a new segment called Checking In with Mom, or Visiting with Mom. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to do it every week. We're going to do it, maybe once a month or as soon as she gets out of jail. I'm not supposed to. Forget I said that. He looked 18. Terrible. But you got to go back. Listen, I want to say thank you, everybody. We had over 1,300 views from last week's show. Let's hope we can continue to carry on. Again, just to remind you, I know my phone's on for the phone roulette thing and to call other people. So you people are just going to have to be patient. I want to say thank you, but I do want to remind everybody, the website, please go to the website, join the community, comment, all that stuff. I gave this guy over here the Instagram stuff. He didn't do anything with it. I don't know what he did I don't know what he was doing this weekend. Nobody knows. But we'll get there. But please like, subscribe, share it. Listen, when we post stuff from Live with Johnny, it's either him or I. That was proper English, by the way.
Perfect.
She says, I love your mom. Well, thank you. But she's taken. What were we talking about?
Posting stuff.
You or I do. Like, share. I need you guys to share. Share the page. Start commenting in the comments to your friends who don't like the page already. Just start commenting them tonight while we're doing the show, and we can get them to come like the page. Selfish people. I'm selfish. Don't make me break out the Sally Struthers commercial where I got to get the kids circled up and I got to stand beside them, which was always awkward because they were skinny Ethiopian kids and she was like 472 pounds and she was begging for you to send them food. They always looked hungry. She didn't.
Wasn't that like in the 70s?
It was the 80s.
That's an obscure
early
reference,
90s.
bro.
Dude, people remember that. Remember, she'd be standing next to a little kid from Ethiopia.
I remember it clearly.
I think his first name was, she seriously weighed like 400 pounds. And she's like, you have to, for 37 cents a day, you can feed these kids a meal. I don't think those kids ever got fed, but I think we know who did. So if you're out there, we're hoping, you're good and she took care of you. So please go out there. It's free. You don't even have to send 37 cents a day. It's free. Go out there, like the stuff, do the stuff, get it done. We are not going to do the tote board for the Thanksgiving fundraiser until next week because we're going to keep you dangling. We're going to keep you guessing. We're going to keep you wondering. I do want to say thank you to everybody who's donated so far. Hi, Noki. How are you? I want, I can see the comments this week. That's good. I got to stop doing that. That also bothers me. Slow down. Talk like a gentleman. I want to thank everybody who's donated so far. We've got a good number so far. We've got a solid start. Like to see it be a little bit better just because we're selfish, but we do want to get it up there. And I don't know what to do for the first $50 donation tonight, but my Venmo is at @JDots. So the first $50 donation I get, we'll think of something until we hear that donation. Once again, Monday night, it is now 7:37. We're coming to you live from the Ride at the Dog Park studio. Ride at the Dog Park is another podcast that you can also find on Facebook. I'm sure he's going to tag that right now. Go and listen to them. They talk about everything from music to food to which one of them is a better kisser. Spoiler alert, I know the answer. I'm not going to tell you. It's Coach Pete. What does he call himself? Rev Run? I don't even know. Run Rev? River? The river runs deep.
If you want to get him on the show, you better be nice.
I love him. He knows I love him. But if he's going to be on the show, he's also going to know we're going to break his stones a little bit. So, let's see who we got here. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Ladies and gentlemen, our first donation of the night comes from a good friend, a wonderful man by the name of Ken Stone. Oh, Ken Stone, thank you very much. Ken, we're going to have to think about what you get. We were thinking earlier, maybe I'll jump in a lake in a bathing suit.
Clean lake.
A clean lake. But that's for $250. Anybody who donates $250 tonight, one person, $250, I'll jump in a lake this weekend or maybe next weekend. We'll check the weather. We're going to see if we can get a 60. What the? As you can see, we're stepping up in the world. I got a runny nose. I did. All of a sudden, I was like, what the hell? At first, I thought it was your stomach. I was like, how about you eat something before we do this? Maybe Sally Struthers could get you some food there. Oh, my goodness. Okay, the second Venmo of the night. Should I be saying the names? We're not saying the donation, right? We're just saying the names.
Fake names.
Scotty Andrews. Scotty Andrews is an old friend from Seymour, now lives up north. He's a great man as well. Ken, Scotty, thank you very much, both of you, from the bottom of my hearts. They're both married men, so wives, when you see your men, give them a big kiss on the mouth for us. Otherwise, I got to do it, and that's just going to put you guys on a spot. All right, so speaking of the Thanksgiving, we're going to get the business right out of the way tonight before we get to phone roulette. Phone roulette. Phone roulette. All right, that's enough, man. It's Live with Johnny, not Live with Johnny and the other guy. No, I'm kidding. He does a great job.
Thanks.
Don't know why he's not wearing pants.
Not on
but
camera.
Hey, this is his room, so
what? I mean,
yeah. You know, ask me how this microphone's being held up. We are going to call Coach Pastor Baxter. And don't worry, this isn't the phone roulette. He knows I'm calling. So, listen, it's a man of God we're about to call right now. So let's all just be on our best behavior. All right? No yelling out boobs or nothing like that. All right, we ready for that? I got a runny nose, man. Here we go. We're doing it on my phone, speakerphone, so I'll be able to hear him, right? Don't you guys love how we talk the technical stuff right in front of you? I do computers. I do computers. I don't. His name is this. We're going to get this. We're going to go this. And we're going to go speakerphone. Turn it all the way up, right? Yeah. That's the phone ringing.
it's very technical.
Hello there.
Good evening. This is the Naugatuck Police.
Struthers?
Hey, for 37 cents a day, you can keep me rolled in Miller Lights, you know.
Oh, man.
Who am I kidding? I don't drink that fancy. I'm a high life guy. Coach Pastor Baxter, how are you?
I'm wonderful, John. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm very happy to be back with you and try to recreate what we did last year. Quick background, I'll give it real quick.
Okay.
Last year, I was in the hospital with COVID. I got out. I was very thankful, in a thankful mood. Coach and I were coaching together, his son, my nephew. And one night I just said, Coach, I'm wondering if you could help me figure something out. He said, hey, man, we have a food pantry. We have a food pantry in our church, which is the River Naugatuck Foursquare Church. He says, we have one. And I said, that's awesome. I said, who does it feed? And he says, you don't have to be a member of our church. You don't have to be a member of any church. If you're hungry, you don't go without. His church, I met some of the people. They're very good people. I actually sat in at a mass. The place stayed up the whole time. No walls fell. But he helped. He got me there. They had their own little food pantry going. And skip to the end of the story. 44. I don't know how to say it. 44 random families, right? The 44 that it was a sign-up sheet, Coach. You'll get into that in just a second. I'm going to let you do all the particulars. But we fed 44 random families who, again, were not. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Patrons of the church.
Right.
Parishioners, that's a big word. Parishioners of the church.
That's a good word.
People in the community, people in our surrounding areas. And Coach will get into that a little bit more. And Coach actually called me last week with some more good news about our Walmart Connect. So I right now will hand the microphone over to Coach Pastor Baxter, who's going to take it from there.
All right. So the plan, just like we did. So last year was, you remember, John, we probably did that whole thing in like 2 weeks. It was like, we had maybe 14 days, and like you raised money like crazy, and we put it all together, and off we went.
$2,300 in 10 days.
Yeah, right, there you go. So obviously the goal this year, we said, it was either 40, you said 44, I had 40 in my head. It was either 40 or 44 families. And I remember I was listening to the show from last week. Actually, it was a couple days late, but I listened to it. And I think you were estimating it was like 4 to 5 people per family. And I'm pretty sure that based on the size of the turkeys, we were looking at 8 to 10 people per family last year. So that, brought the numbers even up further in terms of how many people we fed, which was awesome. So when you reached out a couple weeks ago, said, "Hey, you want to run this back this year?" I said, "Let's do it. Let's go for it and try to raise even more money and feed even more people." So, like you said last week, the goal is to feed 50 families this year, and we have a couple of members, a husband and wife. Shout out to Mark and Eileen, that are just so just giving, and they live here in Naugatuck as well, and they've already been in contact with the Naugatuck Walmart. Last year we did a lot of our shopping there, but not all of it, because we were running late in the season, so we were trying to get stuff from everywhere. But this year we approached them early, a couple weeks ago, and they said, "We'd love to supply you guys with everything." So that was awesome to say that we could do kind of a one-stop shop at Walmart. I talked to the manager just 2 days ago in the afternoon, and they've got a shipment of turkeys coming in this week, and the goal is so for when the shipment of 10 to 12 pound turkeys comes in, they're going to set 50 aside for us, and then we can get them over here into our couple of big freezers we have in the church, and have those ready to go, and kind of have, that's the big one. Obviously, that's the hardest thing to get, especially this year with COVID and 2021. I guess prices of everything is up a little bit, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a scarcity for just Thanksgiving materials, period. So we're really trying to get out in front of everything and get as much of the non-fresh stuff ahead of time, so we don't have to panic in that last few days. And then as we get closer to Thanksgiving week, we put it all together. We're super excited to partner with you, partner with everybody on the show. And you don't have to worry about not swearing around me, John. You should know better by now.
I do. Coach, I just like to, I like to put on, a brave face on Facebook. And then later when we talk, I'll just let it fly. So also, what we were also able to do last year, correct me if I'm wrong, people were so excited about what they were doing that even if they didn't have the money, or if they had, we had like extra cornbread or cupcakes or donuts and like non-perishable stuff that was going to last the week. People were just dropping stuff off, and we were also able to give some people desserts. Am I wrong in saying that, or am I misremembering?
Well, the only thing you're wrong about, it wasn't some people, it was every single people. It was every single family. So every family got everything from the turkey to the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the gravy, all the way down to plates, napkins, and a pie. Like right on down the list, we got everything.
That's awesome.
So I think what we had last year is it was basically $50 was gonna supply one family's worth of everything. So the one thing we will know probably within a week this year, probably by the time you go live next week, we will know exactly what it will cost us from Walmart, because we're going to be able to do all of our shopping there, exactly what a family will, what that will cost to be able to put, food for 8 to 10 people on the table on Thanksgiving per household. And we're hoping it's going to be roughly about $50 again, because if we do everything at Walmart, we're hoping that we can, again, work with them. And they've already promised to give us a $50 gift card toward the supplies. They said that on the phone the other day. So there's a $50 donation right there, but it'll come in a Walmart gift card that we'll pour right back into it and help. There's another family right there.
Thank you, Walmart.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Also, remembering too, we also needed volunteers. Our buddy, our fellow coach Ken, and our A's dugout. Him and his family delivered. The Berries came; they delivered.
They did, yes. And there were others. There were others that I don't even know if you knew very well, and we certainly didn't know very well. And they came and helped make deliveries too.
Yeah.
So just to give you the breakdown of those, so we're going to do a very similar thing this year, and we're going to take the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, and we'll have a time on Monday evening where if anybody who actually signs up to receive the food, if anybody wants to pick up, we're going to have 3 windows. We'll have a Monday night window, a Tuesday afternoon window, and then a Wednesday morning window when people can, if they want to just come to the church and come pick it up. We'll have all the details as we get closer, the hours exactly, but we'll have kind of 3 staggering times of the day. And then independent of that, we'll set up times again where if people want to come and make a delivery or 2 or 4 around town, we would love all the support we can get from anybody. And like you said, if somebody can't afford or doesn't think they're going to be able to afford to put up, $50 or even however many dollars, but they think that they can spend time and come and make a delivery for us, I mean, that's just as valuable.
Listen, man, I think we're doing a great job here. One might even say, Pastor, we're doing the Lord's work. I know you won't say that, but
one might say that.
So because I'm so because I'm so thankful. Do you know there's a gentleman by the name, and I'm going to say his name because he said it on Facebook. His name is Joe Hildreth.
Oh, I know Joe. Yes.
He said Pastor Chris sounds shorter on the phone. That might be. That might be and it's only funny because you're like what, 6'11"?
No, not quite that tall. But you should hear Joe when I have a Sunday morning sermon on Facebook. He chimes in with things like that for me too. He's always there to help me. Keep me humble. Joe likes to keep me humble. Yeah,
well, you're big, like you're not chubby, but you're like a tall, beefy dude. I remember standing in the dugout next to you. I felt like Shrek and Donkey.
Yeah, well, I mean, how tall are you? You're.
I think I got to be at least 3'11".
Yeah, there you go. Good tall hobbit.
I mean, I know I can go on the bumper cars of Quasi.
Nice.
Whatever that is. But I am so thankful for you helping me last year and doing it with me again this year. So I would like for you, give us a minute, Jive. Tell us about your food pantry in general and how that operates out through the whole year. So just that after Thanksgiving, anybody who's got that extra can of yams or green beans and they're looking for a place to get rid of it and they know it's going to go to a good cause, give them the rundown, Coach.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, just the Cliff Note version is we started it once the pandemic hit. March hit, and as we all know, in 2020 the world kind of shut down. So churches were closed, just like anything else. And we have an ongoing relationship with Big Y, which is right down the street from where we're located here on Salem Street. And every Saturday morning, I go pick up the bread at Big Y that hasn't even expired, but they can't sell it. Like once they get to the day before an expiration date, they have to take stuff off the shelves. So they've got bread that was good for days that they had to either get rid of or do whatever with. So one day a week we were getting that, and then all of a sudden we would used to just give it to our parishioners, people who come to church with us, or people would take it home to neighbors and so on. All of a sudden we weren't having church in person, so we needed to figure out a way to get this food out. So long story short, we started just going public on Facebook, go to all the local Naugatuck pages and saying that we had food. We were putting stuff out on the street in front of the church. People were driving by, grabbing bags. And from there, it kind of snowballed. And all of a sudden, we were getting donations of money just to buy non-perishables, like canned goods, that kind of stuff that would last a little longer. We were supplementing with that. And then we went on Facebook and said, hey, we'll make deliveries. And we started making deliveries to people around town after church on Sunday morning. So come 11 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 8 families from here that were already here for service, grabbed a couple of bags, had an address because people registered, and off they go on their way home from church. They just deliver a bag or two of food. Sometimes there's a cake from Big Y or muffins, or you never know what you're going to get from them week to week. But we've been able to do that, and that was we started making the deliveries, I think, in September of 2020, and we've been making them every week since. And we usually average about 10 deliveries on a Sunday. Sometimes it's 8 or 9. Sometimes it's 12, 13, 14. Wow. And people just scatter all over town, and it's like it's just a wonderful deed. And I know for some of the guys that made deliveries for Thanksgiving last year, it's just a great feeling to be able to drop food on somebody's front steps and ring the doorbell and wave. And we don't ask anybody to go inside if anybody's thinking about making deliveries for Thanksgiving. We don't want anybody to go inside of people's houses and so on, but just leaving them on the front porch and ringing a doorbell and saying Happy Thanksgiving is just it's a wonderful thing to do for other people.
Yeah, I mean, two observations. One, you had me a cake. And,
there you go.
And two, just a great job. People looking out for everybody. Everybody looking out for each other is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't be more thankful to you, Coach, and I'm going to go out on the record and say that the Baxters are one heck of an addition to the town of Naugatuck. You guys are doing a great job, and I for one, am glad we became friends.
I appreciate you, John. Thank you so much. I love it. It's always been a pleasure coaching with you. It's always a hoot listening to you on the show. Believe me, and I do listen. It's a hoot.
Hey,
it's hilarious.
Before we hang up, go ahead and tell them what the best album to come out of the 80s was.
The best album to come out of the 80s?
Yep.
Oh man.
Be careful here, Coach.
Wait. Is there an answer?
You know there's an answer. We've had this conversation.
Have we? I'm getting old, John.
Think of food. Think of the food.
Think of the food. Which food? Is it a dessert food? Is it? No. I can't remember any food.
Another word for hungry.
Starving?
Come on, buddy.
What are we talking about?
Up until this point, you had the booming, handsome voice, pastor talking. You were just carrying it. You were going. Now we ask you the most simplest question, and you're like, which way did it go? Appetite for destruction, Coach.
What's that? Oh, an appetite. Appetite. Okay. All right.
We've had this conversation.
What's your favorite track off the Appetite?
Absolutely 100% Rocket Queen.
Rocket Queen. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm a Paradise City man myself. Paradise City.
Says the guy who reps heaven every week. His favorite song is Paradise City.
You got it. Hey,
holy moly.
I used to be a 13-year-old boy, John,
Well, I still act like one. We're even.
There you go.
Coach, thank you so much. This will happen again before we tally up and do everything else. We will touch the night we do the final tally, which will probably be either the Monday before the Monday, or we're going to do a special show and announce it. Either way, please answer your phone when I call.
Will do. You got it.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. All right. Have a good time with the roulette.
Yeah, thank you.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
As he was saying, as I was thinking, never mind, I'm not going to make that joke. We're good. Anybody wants to know the joke, ask me later. We got more Venmos while we were on the phone. Hey, the Covels are on the board. Bob and Christy Koval, thank you very, very much. Very, very much. So there's all the details. River Foursquare, my Venmo. This dude over here is putting it all up on the board. You guys can make your donations. Most importantly, spread the word. Get the word out there. Let other people know that what we're doing, and that'll help us. Now, that's enough of the serious stuff before we got to go to our phone roulette, which, you know, he did a lot of the carrying tonight. It's 7:56 already. I feel like that's less pressure off of me, man.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got that.
It's pretty good.
He's got a handsome voice. He just, you know, he sounds like like my voice. I'm over here. I got to take for the guy with the stuff, and he's just like, and on the third day, you know, he's good. And I'm by no means making. Listen, if I knew they had cake at church, I would have went. That gets us to our next thing. Do some homework. Did we mention Riot at the Dog Park yet? Did we tag them yet? As I'm looking around this wonderful, beautiful studio that they let us use. Riot at the Dog Park talks about music. I don't know if it's good music. You'd have to listen. They talk about good food, which I know they like. I don't know that they use a fisheye lens when they do, when they film, because they know their food. So they like to stretch themselves out. He calls himself Beeve and Rev. They both weigh about 300 pounds each, but no, I'm kidding. Pete's never coming on this show. And when he does, he's going to rip me a completely new asshole. So, hey, make the donations, do the thing. You see what I just did? Hey. Do the donations, make the donations. The Covels, the Stones, the Scotty Andrews, Charlotte made a huge donation over the weekend. And I know what you're thinking, Charlotte. You almost got to the point where I was going to have to jump in a lake. You didn't. But we almost made it there. We're at the 8 o'clock point where eventually I got to stop saying I say that a lot too, and I noticed that last week.
Crotch word, dude. It's fine. You'll get there.
A crotch word?
Crotch word.
Who's crotch? Yeah. A crotch word. I'll give you a crotch word. How's coin purse? That's what I call it. I call it the coin purse. Stop handling my coin purse. All right, stop, dude. We're not supposed to be talking about stuff like that. Hey, let's do some business and go into our local business. Local business this week is a car dealership that I do business with that I wanted to talk about real quick in my 48 seconds of local business. McDermott, Chevrolet, and Lexus. Kevin and Jake down there do the best job. Get anybody in a car. They have wonderful stock, I guess you would call it, in cars. They really care. They're not just going to sell you a car because you need it. They're going to sell you what you need, but they're also going to sell you what you want. So if you're going there for the family car because you got to go to soccer twice a week, they have that. Hear the way I just said soccer? Joe, I got to go soccer. If you got to play soccer, but they also, if you're going through a midlife crisis and you want a Corvette, or I think they could probably get you a Ferrari. I don't know what they take in and trade over there. They could do that too. But what I'm trying to say is if you don't want to get ripped off and you want to make sure you're spending your money wisely and you want to be taken care of like your family, McDermott Chevrolet. That's this week's local business. I do my business with them. My older twin brother, Robert, who's much heavier than me, does that too. If you're wondering, Robert looks like me, but like he was stung by a bunch of bees. So when you see Robert, make sure you told him you heard he's the fat one.
Why did you have to point out that he was heavier than you?
Because for the first time,
That's a strange flex, dude.
Daddy's talking. Okay. For the first time in a long time, I'm not the heavy one in the twin ship, okay? Because when we were younger, we both weighed probably 68 pounds soaking wet. And I'm not even joking. I know this for a fact because I found the jeans. My waist size when I graduated high school was 27 inches. 27 inches with a belt.
With a belt.
Ask me what my pant size is now. It's none of your fucking business. And that's fucking rude. What just happened? Don't fucking freak me out with the background. Sorry. I was on the phone with Pastor Baxter for so long. I gotta say fuck a couple of. I'm a little nervous about phone roulette tonight. What'd you think of last week with Mom? With I hate when people say with mom. She's not your mom. She's my mom. What did you think about my mom last week?
I think your mom was hysterical.
You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, her personality, dude, is. I think having her on a semi-regular thing would be amazing.
Yeah.
She's sharp, dude. She's sharp.
I'd have her in here, but she can't wear a bathrobe and smoke while we're in this small little thing. It's not happening. And she'd probably have to bring her dog, and you got the dogs, and
it's a whole
it's just a whole thing. And she'd probably smack my mouth. And I don't even know what you say. Dude, you were 17, 18. Yeah, I was a size 27. Now, a couple of years ago, and this dude knew me. When I was at my fattest, I was like, because I'm only 5'7", I was a weeble wobble. And oh my God, I'm going to admit this on live. Whatever this is. Size 48 pants. My waist. I put it this way. My belly was so big that when I went to Subway to order a sandwich, double meat, obviously, I couldn't see the veggies. They were so far away. I couldn't. I'm like, can you say them out loud? The guy's like, peppers. I'm like, yeah. Pickles, yeah. Yeah. It was terrible.
See, when you do the yeah thing, you should lead exactly.
It's so fun.
We said we were going to own it.
I'm just learning, man.
You're fine.
Your head is humming, come you don't know. What is it? Your head is humming and it won't go because you don't know. The piper's calling you to join him. Go to karaoke song, go. Come on.
Go to... Give me yours.
Go to karaoke song. I got to tell you a funny story. Back in the day.
Okay, before you get started, mine's Dust in the Wind by Kansas, but go ahead. It just came.
$50 donation, and he will do Dust in the Wind at a karaoke bar.
Back in the day.
Here I talk. At a karaoke bar. Nobody makes fun of me more than me. He goes, my ears are bleeding. Stop. Hey, I'll have you know I'm a very good singer. I can hold a tune. Listen. My go-to karaoke song is Cowboy by Kid Rock. Listen, the people who have seen it, I do it better than Kid Rock does it. Now, Amy saw it for the first time, but
that's a low bar. But go on.
Fucking national treasure. Kid Rock is a national treasure.
Do you do it better than him? I believe you.
I do. Mm-hmm. Amy saw it for the first time, and I was drunk, so it wasn't my best performance, and I think I forgot the words for a second. Okay. She liked it, but you ask my buddy Paulie and his mom and dad and like Johnny Duke and like Petey Silva, they'll tell you, I kill that song. I kill it. And I'll tell you right now, if I get a $100 donation in the next 6 minutes, if I get a $100 donation before 8:10, whoever sends that $100 gets a sober Johnny karaokeing Kid Rock at the bar of my choice because I'm only going to one to do it. And I'm not going to tell you that bar because they're not my local business spotlight this week. $100 donation before 8:10, I will do Kid Rock Cowboy in your presence. Turning my phone off. Absolutely 100% turning my phone off. Okay. It's 8:05. I want to touch base on two things before we do phone roulette. If you can bring it up for me, please, sir. A Naugatuck policeman was hit by a car fleeing a crime scene on, I want to say Thursday of last week. And I want to make sure I get the gentleman's name right. Now, listen, I know we've been putting a lot of donation things out there for people. Right there, that second one. You missed it. I got to do everything? I can't do both. I can't.
Well, if you say the second one after I can't do both.
First of all, He's a handsome man.
He's a good-looking guy.
This poor gentleman, he's a lieutenant. His name is Mark Petnicci, and I hope I said that right. Mark Petnicci. He's out there doing his job, and some scumbag decides that they're not going to stop, and they ran a poor gentleman over, and he, as you could see, a shattered left ankle, broken right tibia, broken right ankle, and he's going to be messed up for a while. So now he can't work. I saw today he's got a couple of kids. Anyway, we're going to pin his GoFundMe. If you are feeling at all a little bit more generous, and I know I keep hitting you guys for all your money, but listen, you can't take it with you. So spend it and be happy. It's either me or Mohegan Sun. You guys make the decision. So if you've got it in your heart, or not in your heart, but if you got the whereabouts or not the whereabouts, I'm so out of my own element here. If you've got the wherewithal and the money to do so, that's why you're here.
Thank you.
See, now I don't have to do everything again. Go ahead and help Mr. Petnicci out. Or lieutenant, I should say. So, sir, we all hope that you heal nicely, get back on the job, and we here, I'm pro-police because I don't want anybody taking my stuff, and we need them. Oh, he's got a good amount up there already. Good for him. But you see, he's got his wife, his 2 boys.
Oh, he don't look good, dude.
He looks like he's in pain.
Little legs.
It's not. This dude left his house that morning to go be a cop, and this is what happens.
I'm gonna help him out.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
so if you can, help the gentleman out. Second, big happy birthday shout out today. It is Nancy Silva's birthday. We've been talking about Nancy the past few weeks. She's battling the breast cancer. They did the surgery. We hope that the cancer's gone. She's got to do the rest of the treatment and get the rest of the stuff out. Today is her birthday. If you are friends with her on Facebook, send her a happy birthday. If you are not friends with her on Facebook, find her. It's Pete and Nancy Silva, or Nancy and Pete Silva. However they did it, how married couples are. They do these things. Just go and tell her happy birthday, instant message her, and blah, blah, blah. Her GoFundMe's up there as well because, hey, her struggle's still out there too, and she's got a hard road and a painful road to recover from. So happy birthday, Nancy, and we hope you're feeling well. I spoke to Pete again last week. He said you were doing great. And that's it. That's the little bit of business I wanted to get out of the way before we get into our phone roulette. I still have my note from last week that baked beans won is a good thing for him. I don't know why I'm holding my hands. We're talking about. You see what happened? We were talking about cops and I put my hands up. I sat like this the whole time.
I didn't want to say it.
I got nervous, man. Hey, man.
I'm unarmed.
Listen, you ever see the training day movie with Denzel? You want to go home? You want to go to jail?
We'll go home or we'll
want to go home? You want to go? I want to go home. I want to go
You
home.
want to go home.
Listen, I'll never rat. I'll never snitch. Not a day in my life. You'll never get anything out of me. I'll do the time if I got to do it. But if I can bullshit my way out, I'm going to do that too. I'm only kidding. I don't do bad things anymore. Don't tell Robert. All right. Phone roulette. Again, we're not going to let you see the phone. I'm going to do that. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for phone roulette.
I think I made this 30 seconds
all right. You tell me when to stop. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, boy.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, boy. Now, here's the rules to phone roulette. I'm going to call this person, but I'm not going to say their name because I don't know if they want me to say their name. Okay? So don't everybody... And if you know the person's name, don't say his name. He might pick up the phone. I'll be like, hello. And he might be like, what's up, you? And call me something completely offensive. Maybe he doesn't want people to know that was him who said that. Okay? So let's take it easy on the poor guy. A little bit. He might not even answer the phone. Here's the rules of phone roulette. I got a runny nose.
It's fine.
We call twice. If you don't answer, we move over. But I'm adding a new rule.
Go ahead.
If the person we are randomly calling doesn't pick up on 2 rings or two attempts, there's no more phone roulette. I'm picking. I'm just going to pick who I want to talk to.
Oh.
How's that sound?
That's a harsh rule, but you're a stern master.
Oh, well, I don't know if you saw the banner, but it says live with Johnny. Ask me, what's my name? Say my name.
What's your name? Johnny!
Say my name, say my name. When no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. Say my name, say my name. No hundred. Oh, what time is it? We didn't get a $100 donation. Let me just double check it. I know. Get the phone roulette, John. We did the music already. Hold on, just checking. I don't have to sing karaoke. Maybe we'll do it again at the end of the show. Not really sure why I moved my head that way. Oh, I got a headache too. It kind of hurts. All right, here we go. Phone roulette. Let's see what happens.
Yo, dude.
Hello?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Nothing. What are you doing?
No, I'm just getting ready to watch some football.
All right. Well, before we get started, I gotta let you know. Have you been watching my Live with Johnny shows?
Periodically, I have.
All right. I'm live right now, and we're playing a game called Phone Roulette, and your number was the number chosen. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, man.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Now listen, I told nobody. I told nobody. I do words. I'm not saying your name, right? Especially not going to say your last name because number one, buddy, I don't know what's going to come out of your mouth. Number two, you don't know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Absolutely.
And this is where you go. Number three, we don't know what's going to go into it. But
I know what's been in your mouth.
there it is.
There you go.
There it is. Everybody, it's my Uncle Gary. No, I'm kidding. I don't have an Uncle Gary. He's in jail. Good kisser though.
He was.
So we're gonna rap a little here, bud, and I'm kind of glad that it's you tonight because first of all, everybody's good, family's good,
Yeah, man.
kids are good.
Absolutely.
Okay, how are you?
Fantastic.
You do know, and we've said this to each other many times, or at least I've said it to you. I'm not really sure how you feel about me, but you know I love you.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Thank you. Okay, this is where you say I love you too.
I love you too, man.
Oh, all right, good. I just want to make sure we were there because
Yeah, the 9 days away.
I was just thinking about you today because someone at work last week called somebody by the wrong name. Guess what they called him?
Frank.
They called him Frank.
That's who just called me. It comes up with my caller ID. It's Frank.
Is that what I'm in your phone as?
Always, dude.
I went away for a weekend with this dude on the phone. Can I call you? Can I say your first name?
Sure.
Okay. My buddy Joe here. We went away for a weekend and I met one of his friends and the dude, I didn't know the guy. He drank so much alcohol in a day that the guy thought my name was Frank. And he called me Frank the whole weekend. And these guys never even corrected him. They just let it. Matter of fact, we sit down for dinner. Joe here makes dinner and he goes, "Hey, Frank, dinner." So the guy's never going to know he's wrong because he's calling me Frank. Then they put me in a room with this guy. And they go, "Do you snore?" I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Well, don't worry. So does he." Okay. Well, first of all, Joe, fuck you because this dude don't snore. This guy, in the middle of the night, all I heard was, and I just look at him and he wakes up and he goes, "What?" I go, "Are you all right?" He goes, I choke on the alcohol when I sleep." I said, "You what?" He goes, "Yeah, that's why I sleep on my stomach." And then he rips the loudest, greasiest, smelliest draft beer fart. And he goes, and he looks at me he locked eyes with me, Joe, and he goes, "Good night, Frank." I was like, oh. Joe, if I may,
Yes.
I'd like to talk about our second trip up north and how you owe me
also a good trip.
how you owe me 24 hours.
Yes.
May I tell this?
Whole day for you.
Am I able to tell this story?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's probably one of the funniest stories ever.
Well, I'm gonna get it. You know me. I'm gonna get into a little detail. And it might be a little long. You cool? Or your game didn't start yet? Who do you got? Pittsburgh in the under?
No, I actually took Chicago in the under.
Smart.
You did?
Smart.
Yeah.
Chicago in the under? I don't know. I think Pittsburgh. I don't know. Hey, listen. I hope you win. Listen, I'm a Dolphin fan. I what am I gonna do? They won't even let us into the cricket league.
No.
So we go up to Vermont, and I'll say Joe is a professional Greenleaf guy, and I am not. And the other guy we were with, who will remain nameless because I don't know if he wants me to talk about him, they have these nice baked goods, and they're going to take a full one. And I said, well, if you're taking a full one, I'm going to take a full one. And Joe, being a friend he is, he goes, nah. You don't ever do this. You don't take a full one. I said, bullshit. You're taking a full one. I'm taking a full one. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened from that point forward, I only remember because I could not articulate myself for the rest of the day.
No, not a word.
We got in the car. The two of them in the front. Joe was in the passenger seat. Our other guy was driving. I'm in the back seat now. Now it's really starting to kick in. And all I know is every 20 feet of road just keeps repeating itself. And I'm looking out the window, and I can't talk. And we're looking for this grocery store. And the two of them, they've been up there 100 times. They're going back and forth about where this grocery store is. They're arguing with each other. Now, they're just as messed up. Well, they're not just as messed up as I am. You guys were percolating. I was ground coffee, man. I was fried green maters. And I kept seeing the sign for the store, but they kept arguing with each other and not seeing it. And I couldn't tell them that I could see it. So I'm in the back seat just going.
His finger would flick once in a while. That was
and you're like, no. And I'm going, and I'd go. And I can't. I don't know if you're not watching, but I'm trying to talk. So anyway, we finally find this store. And we go inside, and we get out of the car, and the two of them start walking to the store. I start walking towards the road. Joe goes, Frank, what are you doing? I go, what? I didn't say nothing. I just turned around like a lost little child, and he goes, come with me. And like a good father, he brought me in the store. He handed me a basket. He puts his hand on my shoulder, and he says, go get the snacks that you want. And I just looked at him, and I was like, that was me shaking my head, Joe. I don't know if you can see. So now the three of us part ways, right? So like Joe's going to get like whatever Joe eats. Our other guy, knowing him, was probably going to get a sausage the size of his forehead because he likes to eat greasy meats and have his pores leak, right? I'm only kidding. A little bit, not so much. Anyway, I'm walking around the store. I picked up a full chocolate Entenmann's cake. I pick up these chocolate turtles. I pick up just whatever. I'm so stoned. I don't even know what's going on. These two are smart. They got like dinner time snacks. They got breakfast time snacks. And they got something to drink. Me, I'm full out stoner. Don't know where I'm at. I'm just doing it. Now, anybody who's watching this that I'm supposed to be somebody you look up to, I apologize, but this shit happened.
37.60 on desserts.
He's not lying. So we get to the counter, and him and the other guy are standing behind me, and I'm going to pay. I still have not now. Because the store was, Joe, what? The store had to be 50 minutes away, right, by the time we found it? So
yeah, right around there.
I'm a good hour and a half, 2 hours into just being absolutely out of it. I haven't said a word. Now, anybody who knows me, I don't shut the fuck up for 13 seconds. And matter of fact, we'll get to the part of the store where Joe goes, actually, I'm going to say it because it's funny. So I get to the counter. I take all the stuff out of my basket. I put it out of the counter, and I'm just looking at the girl like, and she goes, that'll be $37.60. And I just go, mm-hmm. And she's like, now, this poor girl, I won't talk. I'm drooling. I'm drooling. And I won't speak, and I'm just shaking my head. She sees these two with me, and now she assumes I'm somebody with special needs. Now, I'm not making fun of anybody with special needs. But she goes, oh, I take out my wallet, I put it on the counter, and just push it towards her. I don't even open it up. So she thinks that I'm with my handlers, and she's going to help me out. So she opens up my wallet, and she's like, 20, 30. She's like, how cool is it? You're paying all by yourself. And I'm just going, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I can't talk. I physically, my body does not know. I'm so high off this one cookie, which, Joe, by the way, I don't know what you did. I don't know what was in this thing, but I'm telling you right now, Jerry Garcia would have been knocked out. I can't pay. So now she's looking at me, and she rings me out. She gives me the receipt. She puts the stuff in the bag, and I'm just standing there. Joe physically puts his arm on my shoulder, and he goes, stand over here. And I just go over and I stand over there. Now I'm waiting for those two to ring out, and all of a sudden I just hear, Joe, I don't know if it was you or the other guy, Joe. They go, Jesus Christ! I started eating the chocolate turtles, and they were dribbling down my face. I just had a stream of chocolate coming down my face. And the girl's like, oh, it's okay. And I'm just wiping chocolate. I don't care. So we get in the car. Joe goes, hey, Frank, give me one of them turtles. And no lie, Joe, God is my witness. I opened my mouth. I had every turtle I could in my mouth, and I showed him the empty container, and I go, Joe goes, what the fuck, Frank? So they won't stop laughing. Now we get back to the house, and the dope who we're with rented the house for the weekend because we're going to watch the football games. Well, what happened, Joe? The one thing the guy doesn't check for is they got no cable. So now we got these two backwoods Jimmies who, let me tell you something. You ever see the movie Squeal Like a Pig? These two were extras in it. They decide, he just showed up with a DirecTV dish and he's got it on a pole. So I don't know why, but for some reason I put on a winter hat, a sweatshirt, my underwear, and I went and sat on the couch, put my head back.
Stared at a wall.
Just stared at the wall. Joe's sitting with me. So now they're trying to get the DirecTV thing. And they're aiming it to try. And every time they get a signal, it goes beep, beep, beep. I'm on the couch. I got my head back, and I'm going beep,
he was on life support.
It was...
You are such an asshole.
That's my mother. I can't even tell you what happened. So then I just kept going beep, beep. And he's like, Frank, you're out of your mind. He's laughing at, he can't, he's laughing. I don't say a word. Now it's dinner time. The two of them cooked dinner. If I remember correctly, I don't know what you cooked. I don't know what it was. I know we tried to sit down and play cards and drink Miller Lights. I couldn't do it. They were Joe. I was called Frank and Rookie for like 3 hours straight.
More rookie cookies.
Rookie cookies. For rookie cookies for who?
They were not rookie cookies.
I was going to tell you, we're not rookie cookies. So the next morning, I'm sure I'm skipping past something here, but the next morning I wake up. And like a proud father again, he's standing out in the kitchen with his hand on his hips, sees me come walking out of the bedroom. He goes, how you feeling, guy? I look him right in the eye. I go, Joe, I haven't slept that good in 15 years. I didn't snore. I didn't roll over. I was a fucking rock for 8 hours. I felt so good. Smart ass looks me right in the eye and he goes,
I think 3 words the whole night.
No. Smart ass looks me right in the eye and goes, you want another one? And like the man he is, like the fucking roughneck man he is, this dude eats another one. And he's about to go about his day and scramble eggs. Me? I don't even think I drank beer that day. I think I got some pure country water, and I was like, I'm sticking with this. It was, I looked him right in the, we're driving home, and I go, Joe, he goes, what? I go, you fucking owe me 24 hours. You owe me 24, and he not skipping a beat, he goes, oh, it speaks.
You gotta be
You were
kidding me.
dead silent for hours.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't let you get in a word edgewise during that story. But it's called phone. It's called phone roulette. I called you and you didn't say much. So I'm gonna go ahead. You got anything you want to add, Joe?
No, man.
Long story.
Absolutely classic, I'll tell you that. Freaking funny.
Let me tell you something, dude. Every time I hear somebody say the phrase, "You want a cookie?" All I think of is you and that 24 hours that you owe me. Joe, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, what was I going to say? So then another time, actually, he gave me a to-go bag like a few months later. He said, here, take these home. I said, okay. Joe, let me know if you got to hang up. But so I'm going to tell you this one real quick. My son's at the time, 16 or 17, he's out for the night. I'm home. I'm at my fattest. I think I weigh 252 pounds. Nobody can see me. I can't see my wiener. I'm staying home.
Fluffernutter Central.
Oof. I sit down. I eat the cookie. I am home. The TV's not on. I'm completely entertained. I'm vibrating off the couch. Phone rings. I can't even say hello. I go, It's my son on the other end. He goes, Dad, this sucks. I'm coming home. So-and-so's mom is dropping me off. I go, I'm like a teenager who's my parents are gonna catch me out being so. This kid walks through the door. Joe, I turned off every light in the house. He goes, "What's wrong with you?" I go, and he goes to his room. Joe, I couldn't talk. I sent him a text message saying I didn't feel good and I'm tired because I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk, Joe. Okay? So now the kid goes, "Dad, can I have the living room?" Because at the time, the Wi-Fi sucked. He needed his Xbox out in the living room. I floated from the couch to my bedroom. I bumped my shoulder in the hallway like a pinball 4 times. He goes, "Dad, what is the matter with you?" I don't say a word. I make my way to bed. I get nuzzled in. I text him, "I just don't feel good. Good night. Good night. I love you." I locked the door, Joe, so he couldn't come in. He couldn't find me that way. I was scared that he was going to find out I was high. It was, dude, Joe, now that I think about it, you owe me like 36 hours. I don't know when I'm going to cash in, but I'll settle right now for a $10 donation to my venue for Thanksgiving dinners.
Sure, man.
At Jade the Dots, it's on the page. Joe, I can't thank you enough for being such a good sport and answering. Joe, you answered it on like the 3rd ring, bro. That makes me feel good that you still care about me.
Absolutely, dude.
Dude, and I'll tell you what, it's been way too long. Hey, did you hear I'm getting married?
I heard you did get married.
What?
I heard you did get married.
No, we're not married yet. Next June.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Joe, I'm getting married on June 9th. My anniversary forever is going to be 6/9.
Tasty.
Joe, ask me how we're going to celebrate.
I don't even want to know.
Don't worry, you'll get the pictures because now I owe you 36 hours.
Oh, my God.
Joe, I love you. Thank you for answering the phone, and make sure you tell all your friends you were on Live with Johnny tonight, buddy.
I will, man. I love you too, man.
I love you. Have a good night. So because we all know that numbnuts over here has to get back over to Golden Girls and get in bed. Ouch. And actually, he told me last week he bought some things off QVC. So if you're wondering how old he really is, he's still watching QVC. Facebook, almost Instagram, this guy, the YouTube, the website. Get on there. Like, subscribe, share the community. Don't forget, we're going to start an advice thing. Ask me any question. I'll give you the answer. I'm going to give you a good answer. No candy-coated nonsense. I'm going to give you the proper answer, not your family's answer. They're like, well, no, we're going to fucking give it to you the way it is. That's it. So go and do all that stuff. I'm just going to look at my notes to make sure I'm getting everything. We said happy birthday to Nancy. We talked about me singing Kid Rock Cowboy, which I'm great at, dude. I'm not even kidding you. You know what? Maybe I'll call one of those people next week and they could tell you. Jerk. I really am, though. I'm absolutely really good.
I'll give you $100 to sing it right here on the show. All right.
Right now or like next week?
Next week.
I'm gonna think about that. Maybe we'll put up a poll. No, we're not doing that because they're all gonna say yes, so I do it. Of course. And then I gotta do it.
Johnny, you gotta sing.
We're not doing it. We didn't do an angry soapbox this week. We'll save that for next week. We're gonna do the visit with Mom. I wanted to make fun of Howard Stern tonight because he's a total sissy and a hypocrite.
Douche.
But we'll do that next week. Listen, we end the show the same way every week, and I don't know why I say that, but this is where we're going to go. Reach out to the ones who aren't reaching out. Send somebody a text. Just ask them how they're doing. Ask them how their day was. How are you? If we don't care about each other, nobody else will. That's an obvious statement. I love to be Captain Obvious once in a while. But reach out to the people who aren't reaching out. Let somebody know you care. Just ask them how they're doing. You'd be surprised how far that goes. Just me talking to Joe tonight and touching base with him again after a while, I feel great knowing that he's good. I'm sure he feels great knowing that I'm good. And all that kind of stuff makes me happy. I got to stop talking with my hands, buddy. It looks so crazy on this screen. I look like a pair of windshield wipers. Jesus Christmas. Oh, sorry, Pastor Baxter. I didn't mean to say Jesus Christmas. All right, I'm going to go with Christ on a cracker. No. Reach out to somebody, ask them how they're doing. I love all of you. Let's get those donations going. Please share the donation information. Share. Like. Subscribe. Bright Eyes, I'm coming home. I love all of you. I'll see you guys next week.
That was easy.
How'd we do?
That was fucking funny, dude.